Hey everyone, it's Raphael from XX Raphael Productions, and as promised, I have made the video on who is the better Reverse Flash. Is it Matt Letscher or is it Tom Cavanagh, alright? So that is what we're going to be talking about today. So I made a video a couple days ago, which I will link down in the description below, talking about why Matt should return as Reverse Flash in either Season 8 or any future season. And in that video, I promised I would make a separate video talking about who was the better Reverse Flash. So, here it is, and let's get right to it. So just like my other video, I'm going to split this into two sections since I am going to compare and contrast each actor's strengths. So, if you want to go ahead and skip to a particular section, the timestamps are both on screen and also in the video description, alright? So, that being said, let's get right to the first section. Alright, so for section 1, we're going to be talking about Tom's Reverse Flash. So obviously to everybody who's watched this show since the very beginning, Tom has been the actor of Eobard Thawne for the majority of the show, and he even plays many different versions of Dr. Wells throughout the multiverse as the seasons progress, and has even managed to make all of them seem like different characters, alright? So for us viewers, this is an obvious testament to how great his acting abilities are, and also has always been the show's forte even during its lowest moments, like let's say the worst seasons. Though when it comes to the role of Reverse Flash though, it is noted that Tom is actually more suited for portraying the version of Thawne that is much older and more mature. So keep in mind, I'm not referring to the younger version of Thawne, which I will get into later when we discuss Matt's Reverse Flash, but he is suited for playing the Season 1 version of Reverse Flash, who is obviously much older and more mature, which he obviously needed to be because in the Season 1 storyline, Thawne basically had to masquerade as Dr. Wells for 15 years in Season 1, along with also having Wells' DNA as a result of the DNA switching device, which is invented sometime in the future. So, just to refresh your memory, this was Season 1, Episode 17, when he used that not body switching, but more like DNA switching device. So, due to this, it's somewhat of a mix between the original Harrison Wells' personality and also Thawne's own personality. So, this was actually explained in a deleted scene in Season 1's final episode, where Thawne admits this to Joe West during a pipeline scene, okay? So, however great this version of Reverse Flash was, so I'm referring to the Harrison Wells Reverse Flash, I definitely did notice after Season 2 that it does go a bit downhill, and it's mostly when you start realizing that Thawne no longer has any reason to actually masquerade as Dr. Wells, and the only actual explanation that we are given as to why he still has Wells' face is that apparently it's the one that Barry is the most familiar with, so Thawne puts it on so that he can torture his greatest enemy as a painful reminder. So, if you're wondering where I got this from, this was actually explained in the Crisis on Earth X crossover, so this is precisely the main reason why Tom's Reverse Flash actually starts losing his appeal, because they don't actually, I know they try to fix this by giving you that explanation, but it just really doesn't work, because if you look at later seasons, and even in this very same crossover, it is very clear that Tom is trying to act like Matt Letscher's Reverse Flash, like he's trying to do the same hand movements, same talking style as Matt's Reverse Flash, so that Tom is trying to portray that. Unfortunately though, if I'm gonna be honest with you, it wasn't conveyed very well, and it really just comes across as weird or goofy. Like, to really understand what I'm saying, just go ahead and rewatch, just go ahead and rewatch the Crisis on Earth X crossover again. So that will be Season 4 of The Flash, Season 3 of Legends, Season 6 of Arrow, and then you can kind of see what Tom is trying to do, but it really doesn't work because Matt nails the role much better in that regard. So if we're trying to get to Thawne's real personality, then Matt is better in that regard. But yeah, so that being said, Tom is definitely suited for the role though, when he's trying to portray the Season 1 version of Reverse Flash, or at least an older and more mature version that we see in Season 5. So, for those particular moments, Tom's Reverse Flash is definitely amazing and still shines, but it's definitely not as good though when it comes to the younger, I guess, more maniacal version of the character, which I guess in universe makes sense, okay? So let's move on now to section 2, where we talk about Matt Letscher's Reverse Flash. Alright, so here we go with Matt Letscher, okay? So, in my opinion, I really wish Matt came back because, as I did say in my other video, it has been about 4 years now since we last saw him portraying Reverse Flash, all the way back in Legends of Tomorrow Season 2. So, that was about 2017, alright? So, 2021 already. So, despite having such limited screen time, his version of Thawne was absolutely amazing, and for some examples are in Season 3 Episode 1, Season 2 Episode 11, and also majority of Legends of Tomorrow Season 2. Now, this is exactly how I would expect the younger version of Reverse Flash to be like before he would eventually take Dr. Wells' face and eventually start altering his personality to be more similar to Tom's Reverse Flash, which is a blend of the original Dr. Wells and Thawne's original personality. So, like I said before, these kind of details are what makes the show more enjoyable to watch and also a lot nicer to look at in hindsight, okay? So, in regards to comic accuracy, Matt Letscher is a lot more comic accurate as well, and is very convincing in regards to delivering the character's absolute hatred towards Barry. And see, this is something I like to talk about because for Tom's Reverse Flash, okay, like, you got him occasionally showing the hate towards Barry, like, you can feel it as well, but I think the term to use for this in regard to Tom's Reverse Flash is that kind of, like, hatred for Barry, you know, like, Thawne's hatred towards Barry, you can tell that in Tom's Reverse Flash it feels more suppressed, for lack of a better word. It's kind of like, you can see the original Dr. Wells' influence on Thawne's personality, so even though he's supposed to, like, see Barry as absolute arch enemy, it still feels suppressed. Like, you can even tell from Season 1's final episode, or even Season 7's final episode, where they're supposed to be, like, they're supposed to be, like, extreme rivals, and then obviously Thawne still hates Barry, but it doesn't really, like, it's not really conveyed as much as it used to be, and I've seen people actually comment that as well on other online forums, so I know I'm not alone when it comes to that opinion. But now let's go ahead and talk about Matt's Reverse Flash, where he's absolutely wild and maniacal, and you can see that in Season 3 Episode 1, you can actually feel it radiating off Matt's Reverse Flash, the absolute hatred towards Barry, and also this swiftly adds to Thawne's character development, because here you can clearly compare his older self to his younger self, and then you can also, like, I guess, get reminded that both actors portray each version of Thawne in different time periods of his life in very, I guess you can say that it's just very convincing, you know, that Thawne's character development, you can kind of tell. So his, basically, bottom line, both versions of Thawne that they have in common, they're always going to be Barry's arch enemy, but it does do a good job as well in representing the different phases of Thawne's life, where there are times where he eventually, I guess, the hatred is mellow, and some times where his hatred goes up a lot. Like, you can tell in Season 5 he's more, I guess you can say that he's trying to fool Nora West Allen into, I guess, going along with his plans, but then he does also care for Nora as well, so I guess still, bottom line is he sacrificed her, but that's Tom's Reverse Flash, so even then, you kind of go back to Season 6, where he is all, like, he's in the pipeline, and then he is also threatening Barry, threatening him to kill him and kill his friends again, you know, like, this is a post-crisis episode. But still, I do think that the Matt Letscher, going by his performance in Season 3, Episode 1, he would have definitely portrayed that moment a lot better than Tom's Reverse Flash. So with all that being said, let's get right to the verdict, okay? So this really does depend on who you ask, whether they prefer the more mature version of Thawne and also a somewhat different spin on the character, unlike the comic version, or if they prefer the more comic accurate and crazier version of Thawne, okay? So basically the way I'm trying to say it is that I kind of see them as two sides of the same coin. So now, in my personal opinion though, and the result for this video, I definitely think that Matt Letscher's Reverse Flash is the winner, and I would definitely like to see the actor return more in future seasons of The Flash. That's if he's ever really able to return to the show. And I know Tom's Reverse Flash is great, so I'm not denying that, but I think that we have seen him like so many times now, so I guess he does kind of lose his luster over time. But yeah, that's it for this video, and just before we conclude, there's another reminder that Season 8 of The Flash premieres on November 16th, 2021. So, that being said, thank you all for watching. Raphael out, and I will see you soon. But if you guys want to comment down below your own opinions, or if you kind of disagree, or if you agree, feel free to comment as well down below, and I will reply to some of your comments if I have time. So, I'll see you in my next video.